What's going on, agents? It's D Werewolf Gaming, and today we're bringing back a true Division 2 legend. That's right, agents, the Eagle Bear. This used to be one of the most iconic exotics in the game, and for a long time, one of the hardest to get. Back in the day, you can only earn this Eagle Bear from the Dark Isles raid or during the Dark Zone, grinding clears and praying for RNG. Later on, it showed up in limited time rotations at the end of each season. And you could attain it through those special sources. But let's be real, most agents still missed out. But right now, during the winter event, running all the way until January 6, 2026, this is hands down the easiest time ever to grab the Eagle Bear. If you've been waiting for your shot at this weapon, this is it, agents. Now don't get it twisted. The Eagle Bear is a beast, but it's not perfect. That recoil can be wild, and if you don't manage your shots, it can feel unforgiving. But when you pair it with the Striker's Battlegear, the rate of fire, stacking, and weapon damage turns this thing into a straight-up melt machine. The faster you hit, the harder it hits. And the Strikers keeps that damage ramping non-stop. And let's talk about that exotic talent, Eagle Strike. This talent is crazy because it can either save your life or straight up get you killed. Land your headshots, build those stacks, and on reload you get massive damage. It can be a clutch in legendary fights, but miss too many shots, you lose stacks, waste the reload, and in the wrong moment, that can cost you everything. High risk, high reward. On top of that, we're stacking amplified damage. And if you don't know what amplified damage does in Division 2, it is a true damage multiplier. It's not additive like normal weapon damage. It multiplies after everything else, meaning every bullet hits way harder. When you combine amplified damage with the Eagle Bear's raw power and Striker's stacking buff, the synergy is absolute disgusting. So if you're ready to finally dominate with one of the most legendary exotics in Division 2 and you want that build of SHREDS, heroic, and legendary content, you're in the right place. Alright, agents, so like I stated earlier, the star of the show is the Eagle Bear. You can obtain this right now for a limited time until January 6th. As you can see, this gun is fully maxed out with a weapon expertise of 30%. As far as the core attributes, we do have it fully maxed out as well, and I do recommend you reroll that third talent to damage the target out of cover. As far as the weapon handling, as you see, it's not too bad, but the talents that come in this gun, it actually comes with two. First one is called Eagle Strike. Basically, your accuracy increases as you continuously fire, up to 30% increase in accuracy. Headshot kills grant the tenacity buff for 15 seconds. The strength of the tenacity buff is increased by 1% for body shots and 5% for headshots. What is the tenacity buff basically is you get 40 to 80% of damage taken as delayed until the buff expires. All of the total damage delayed is reduced for each enemy that is killed while the buff is active up to 100%. So basically, if you get 3 kills, you can get that damage reduced up to 80%. But if you don't get those 3 kills within that time, it can actually take you do a lot of damage to you as well. Keep in mind, agents, to easily deal with this, you can just switch to a different weapon, go back, and you won't even have to worry about that second talent. Alright, the mods coming in this gun you cannot change. All 15% critical hit chance, 30 rounds, 10% increase in weapon handling, and 20% increase in critical hit damage. The secondary, since we are rocking the Striker's Battlegear, we did go with the rock and roll shotgun. It is an ACS-12, the named version, agents, and it does have a 50% increase in magazine capacity. Primary reason we're using this gun is it shoots out multiple pellets to help you build up those stacks faster when using the Striker's Battlegear. Alright, when you have on 4 pieces of the Striker's Battlegear, you get 15% increase in weapon handling, 15% increase in rate of fire, and also, agents, you get Striker's Gamble. Weapon hits increase total weapon damage by 0.65%, stacking up to 100 times. Get up to 100 stacks, that is 65% increase in weapon damage. Keep in mind, 1 stack is lost per second between 0 and 50, and 2 stacks are lost per second between 50 and 100 stacks. For the core attribute, we do have a weapon damage, and everything on this build, agents, we are either going critical hit chance or critical hit damage for all the attributes on all the gear piece. Alright, second piece, we do have the Grupo Sombre chest, which gives 13% critical hit damage when you have 1 piece. We do have an armor core, and again, those attributes are either critical hit chance or critical hit damage. The talent we do have is a build rate, and critical hits increase total weapon damage by 1%, stacking up to 20 times, so that's 20% increase in weapon damage when you do have your full stacks. We do have the Striker's holster. We do have weapon damage with a 12% critical hit damage attribute. For the knee pads, we also have weapon damage with a 6% critical hit chance attribute. And the Overdog exotic gloves, agents, are the top exotic in this season so far, in my opinion. Comes with weapon damage core automatically. The attributes are critical hit chance, critical hit damage, and the talent that comes on these gloves automatically is called the weakest link. It basically amplifies weapon damage by 30% to the lowest ranking enemies currently in combat, according to the tier hierarchy. So basically, agents you start at tier 3, work your way up. But in combat, when you're out there, there's so much going on. You won't have time to think about their agents. The goal is just to keep firing, and you will get that amplified damage. Now, we do have the Striker's Battlegear backpack on as well. For the core, we do have an armor core and the attributes for critical hit, 12% critical hit damage attributes. The talent that comes on this backpack is called Risk Management. This increases total weapon damage gain per stack of Striker's Gamma from 6.65 to 0.90. So basically, you get all these stacks at this point. That is 90% increase in weapon damage. So you can get that 90% from there. You get the 20% from the talent ability rate. So overall, and then you get the amplified damage as well. So this is overall a powerful setup, agents, and I do recommend you give it a try. For the skills, we are using the Crocheted Shield just for a little bit of extra protection. This build is squishy, and we do have the Revival Hive equipped as well. Give you a second chance if you go down when playing on heroic or legendary content. As far as the global modifier agents, you decide to use the quick fix as our active modifier, but you don't need to use any modifiers, so keep that in mind. This build works regardless if modifiers are active or not. For our passive, we did use No Escape. Basically, when you and your companion aim at the same target, you gain 15% increase in headshot damage. We use Supply Line, which every 3 kills by your companion instantly reloads your weapon and grants 30 high velocity rounds. And also we use the the priority channel, which basically builds up your command link faster by 12%. Now, one thing I do want to mention with the global modifier agents, the command link, one thing I do recommend is that you do pay attention to your passive recruit bonuses. Basically, agents, you need to recruit at least 10 of your assault recruits, 10 of your medics, and 10 of your engineering. That way you can get those passives. Basically, when you get all 10 on each one of those, you get up to 15% increase in weapon damage, 20% increase in hazard protection, and 15% increase in skill efficiency. Keep in mind though, agents, when you turn off your active modifier, all those passives are double. So basically, you get up to 30% increase in weapon damage, 40% increase in hazard protection, and also you'll get up to 30% increase in skill efficiency. Now, right now on the screen, I'm showing you how you unequip your active modifier. Basically, just click on the agents, and your passive still will work. And like I said, you will have double of everything, but you will not have your companion to use in the gameplay. Now, I don't mind using the companion agents because he acts as a decoy for me. He's a great decoy. On top of that, he also acts as the extra Revival Hive in my opinion as well. So I enjoy using the companions, and I do hope they find some way to keep them within the gameplay. Now, as far as our weapon stats, we do have a total weapon damage with the Eagle Bear, 116,043, with critical hit chance 55%, with 150% critical hit damage and 75% increase in headshot damage. As far as accuracy on this build, agents do have 35% increase in accuracy. Keep in mind that does go up when you do get this buff from the Eagle Bear, and we do have a stability of 35%. Now, there are other variations in this build where you can get the stability more better, such as using the Eagle Grass gloves instead of the Overdog exotic gloves. But overall, if you can manage it with just that 15% increase in weapon handling, I would recommend that. All right, as far as the armor, we do have 1,125,000 armor 38 with 112,504 armor on the kill. 0 armor regen on this build. This build is very squishy, and I do recommend you stay in cover. Overall, though, it's still very powerful, and when you are utilizing the companion as a solo player, it will help keep some of those ads off you. All right, so we did go with the gun of specialization. Every third reload is 50% faster. You do get 10% armor back on the kill, and you generate 10% of your ammo capacity every 60 seconds, and members in your party will receive 5% of that. Also, your rate of fire is increased by 5% for 5 seconds after kill. And agents, when you remain motionlessly for at least 1 second, you will get 10% increase in weapon handling as well. This is the only class specialization where you will have access to the Banshee Pulse, and this is great, agents, because it basically disorients enemies caught that are in your path, and it also penetrates to cover as well. Last but not least, don't forget to equip the correct weapon element to get your bonus and 15% increase in weapon damage. It can make a difference in your build. Sometimes you may put a build together and see other agents doing way more damage, and you're trying to figure out why. And that is one of the reasons why that could be occurring. This is just one of the many build variants. Always make these builds your own. Like I said, this build doesn't have a lot of survivability in it. So change up, put whatever you need to put in it to make this build work for you. Not everyone plays these games the same. We all play different things. This is a very squishy build. Some of the gameplay, as you see right now, I am playing on legendary content. But agents, this is the type of build I would not really recommend for legendary, given the simple fact that you have not a lot of survivability, not a lot of armor either. Overall, it can work, especially if you're playing in teams. But if you play this game solo, mostly like myself, I generally go for builds that give you a lot. There's a balance between survivability and damage. With that being said, some other factors that will play a part in your build, as always, agents, is your watch level needs to be at least 1000 to be able to have all your passes unlocked on your SHD watch, because it can make a difference in the amount of damage you're doing. One other factor that will play a major part is your weapon expertise. You can get the 30% additional bonus weapon damage. So if you're already at the max on your watch, agents, I would definitely recommend on getting that expertise up to at least the maximum amount, because it can make a difference in the amount of damage you're doing with these builds. With that being said, agents, this is the one of the many versions of the Eagle Bear build that I enjoy. As you see in the gameplay, agents, I will be playing on legendary, heroic, rogue agents. Doesn't matter what we are tackling in this game, we will be taking these enemies out pretty fast. I know I used to see a lot of videos, previous videos, a lot of agents used to say the Eagle Bear does not work good and all this other stuff. Agents, when it comes to video games, I always say test these builds, try them out yourself, put together what works best for you. Because coming from a gamer who plays all sorts of types of games, agents, I spend a lot of time on, for those of you who subscribe from me from Remnant 2, you do remember I spend a lot of time making all sorts of types of builds in Remnant 2. And that game has a lot of different gun variations. I see a lot of agents often complain about magazine size in video games. Agents, I don't personally myself, I don't mind reloading, especially if it's a powerful weapon. For example, the Striker was an amazing weapon, agents. A lot of agents complain about that magazine size in that gun, and that was one of the reasons why they wasn't using it. But me, I played with it even before we got the new gear set, the unit alloys or anything. I utilized that weapon even then, because overall, I don't mind reloading. Like I said, there are a lot of different variations of weapons in Remnant 2, where there were one magazine in the capacity, agents. But those guns were so powerful, you could easily one-shot some of the bosses in that game if you built that build correctly and was able to utilize it no matter what size magazine capacity that weapon had. With that being said, if you only focus on certain aspects when it comes to putting these builds together, I feel like you will miss out on build potentials and overall just enjoying some of these weapons that are still very powerful if you build them the correct way. With that being said, agents, I really appreciate each and every one of you for your valued time and continued support as always. Really does mean a lot, especially those who always have something positive to say or leave a comment. It really does help to push the content on YouTube algorithm, and I enjoy showing these builds and different variations to help out those in the community who play this game mostly solo like myself. With that being said, stay sharp, stay strong. D-Werewolf out.
Thought I was toast. Medical assistance needed. Serious trauma detected. Agent incapacitated. Hostile airburst seeker mine detected. Serious trauma detected.
Go on ahead, that guy. Confiscated a massive cache chemical weapon. Got ready to run over the campus. She's proud. Took a lot of lives today.
I need cover!
Reinforcements en route.
Can't take another shot. Are you serious?
Hostiles reporting location nearby. Immediate medical assistance needed.
Shit, no ammo!
Gotta need to relocate. Hostile down!
Heavily armored hostile detected. Detected. In location. Guarded by hostiles.
Nice to the torch end!
Incoming hostiles detected. Hostiles building location nearby. Heavily armored hostile detected.
Hello? Is this the division? Looking for someone?
Who is this? How are you on this channel?
Friend of yours gave me a real nice wristwatch. He's right here. Want to talk to him? want him back, he can make a deal. You back off, we'll deliver him unharmed.
Hostile down!
Don't keep them alive. They aren't stupid. Just find that hyena piece of shit and waste her.
Fuck yeah! You better hide! Take it off his way! No, goddamn it! What the hell? Better go!
I've been looking forward to a straight up.
Getting Ellis was always a long shot. Black Tusk specializes at dealing with...